Hello there. Thanks for joining me on your ever reliable sports business program, Sport Exchange. My name is Jide Olaniran. On the show today, the new segment reveals the power of sponsors in a democracy, fans' engagement, and how a super athlete attracts brands. On the Dugout segment, we shall be talking to the president of Snooker and Pool Players Alliance in Nigeria, and on the launch of Chinese 8-ball pool in Nigeria as well. And finally, on our offside segment today, it is on how to ever charge football, or how not to ever charge football players to perform. Let's go on a short break and I'll be back for the news.
Fantastically finished.
Welcome back. And straight to the news now. International Ice Hockey Federation sponsorship partners are contemplating to pull out from this year's Ice Hockey World Championship, scheduled to hold in Belarus from May to June 2021. German motor lubricant manufacturer Liquid Moly is reported to be on the verge of announcing a decision soon, while Volkswagen Skoda Auto has pulled out due to recent human rights record in Belarus. Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko, an avid hockey fan and player from the Olympic Games, is viewed by sponsors as anti-democratic for cracking down on protesters who allege that his election was rigged. Tottenham Hotspur has launched a new Korean Twitter account to further engage its growing fan base in the homeland of one of the club's star players, Heung-min Son. The club is currently the most watched and best supported overseas soccer team in Korea, with thousands having traveled to North London to watch the team in action in recent years. Korea's national team captain Son recently hit the 100-goal mark for Tottenham, as well as winning the FIFA Puskás Award for the best goal scored in the 2019-2020 season, and in 2020 he ranked as the most tweeted athlete in Korea. And to basketball now. LeBron James is changing teams in the Cola Wars. The Los Angeles Lakers superstar, a pitchman for Coca-Cola since entering the NBA in 2003, is set to land a new deal with PepsiCo. According to the report, James will endorse Mountain Dew's new Rise Energy beverage, part of the Pepsi company family, and he also could become the face of Pepsi Cola. His deal with Coca-Cola ended last year after he spent years hawking Sprites and Powerade. And to football now. Mesut Ozil confirmed his move from Arsenal to Fenerbahce, saying he was very excited to play for the former Turkish champions and that he will fit despite missing nearly a year of football. Ozil had a verbal agreement with Arsenal to terminate his contract, which was due to end in the summer, but he could not wait to join Fenerbahce when the offer was made. Ozil was frozen out of Arsenal's main squad for close to a season in what the manager Mikel Arteta says it was for football reasons. That sums up the news segment. Next is a short video clip of Chinozo Eche, a 12-year-old Nigerian boy who set a world record for the most consecutive soccer ball touches in 1 minute while balancing a second ball on his head.
Nobody teach me, but my father made impact in my life by showing me some videos of Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, Okocha, and I picked up from there.
Welcome back. Now we move straight to the dugout segment, and joining me now on the dugout segment is the president of the Snooker and Pool Players Alliance of Nigeria, Joachim Idada. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Jide. It's nice being with you.
Yes. Joe, it's good news. The media was awash just recently about the introduction of Chinese 8-ball pool into the Nigeria sport industry. And this was made possible by a Nigerian company called Fiji Ventures, and it was in collaboration with the Snooker and Pool Player Alliance, which you are the president. How did this happen?
First of all, it's a milestone achievement for Q Sports, especially for pool. The way it started was, globally we know there are different versions of pool. You have the normal 8-ball pool, we have the normal, and we have 9-ball pool, we have 10-ball pool. The Chinese people have come because Europe somehow has dominated 8-ball pool. So the Chinese community have developed, the Chinese community have invested in developing a version of pool that is similar to the 8-ball pool, similar rules, similar style of play, and quite a lot of things. One of the critical difference is the kind of table you play your pool on, and that is what we call the Chinese 8-ball pool. And it is governed by Chinese 8-ball pool is governed by the International Chinese 8-ball Pool Association. It is an affiliate of the World Pool Association that is based in South Africa. Right now, globally, Chinese 8-ball pool is played in 60 countries of the world. In Africa, we currently have 4 countries in Africa that have embraced Chinese 8-ball pool, and that is South Africa, Rwanda, and Kenya. So Nigeria is going to be the 4th country to embrace Chinese 8-ball pool. There was supposed to be a World Cup for Chinese 8-ball pool in 2020, and the Snooker and Pool Players Alliance, because they have very good pool players, approached the ICAA, the organizer of the world competition, the organizer of the world competition, because it was supposed to be hosted in South Africa. And we approached South Africa saying, oh, we would like to play in the World Cup of Chinese 8-ball pool as a way of introducing our players to Chinese 8-ball pool. And that was how the journey started. So from South Africa, we were linked up with the sponsor of the Chinese, global sponsor of Chinese 8-ball pool, the global sponsor of Chinese 8-ball pool, and that is Joy Billiards. We're linked with the global sponsor of Chinese 8-ball pool, and that's Joy Billiards. And Joy Billiards says they are very, very interested, and they have been looking forward to coming into Nigeria, especially because of its position in Africa. And that was how the journey started. Today, we are all happy to announce that a contract has been signed, and the Chinese 8-ball pool is now in Nigeria.
All right. Okay, Joe, fantastic. I must say congratulations to you and your team. And let's look at how this is going to help the players. Pool, it's one of the oldest sports in Nigeria, but for some time it has been in the doldrum. So how can you use this to revive the interest of young people?
When it comes to sports in Nigeria, one of the critical challenges that we have witnessed in sports in Nigeria is the absence of a link between the international circuit and the local circuit in most sports, in almost all the sports. In football, we are lucky in football because we have the FIFA, that's the NFF, the NFF is affiliated with FIFA. You have basketball, the Nigerian Basketball Federation is also affiliated to the global governing body. But there are certain sports in Nigeria that I will classify that are non-Olympic sports. They are non-Olympic sports. For those sports that are non-Olympic sports, it has been a challenge convincing the Ministry of Sports in Nigeria, that's the Sports Commission, it has been a challenge convincing them that the country should invest in developing the sports. One of the ways of developing these sports is recognizing the sports and linking the sport to the global body. It is not just only about financing the sports, it's creating that link between the global governing body, international circuits, and the local circuits. So pool, over the years, pool is a popular game. Every bar, almost every standard bar has a pool table. Under most street corners, in the 70s and in the 80s, you had everybody playing pool everywhere. Even right now, if you go to the north, if you're a young boy in the north and you have swagger, if you have not been exposed to pool, you are a non-starter. But the challenge is we have played pool more like a street game than like a sport. So it has been a challenge transiting from game to sports. And one of the ways, or the easiest way of transiting from game to sport is that, how will I say it? You create a link between Nigeria and the global circuit. And that is one benefit that this has brought. So in the Chinese airball pool that has come into Nigeria, what it offers is that if you play Chinese airball pool, you have what I call confidence, provided you are talented, provided you have the zeal, the tenacity, you have the skill, you have all that it takes to grow a career, either as, whether I call it an amateur player or as a professional player. You have an opportunity to go to China to play in the world circuit. In Africa, currently, Joy Billiards is trying to build what we call the African Tour. And in 2020 that was supposed to be the beginning of the African Tour, but the pandemic thwarted it. So right now in 2021, we are all looking at the possibility of having an African Tour. It's going to be separate from the World Tour, so that when in the African Tour, since we already have Nigeria, we have what would I call? South Africa, we have Kenya, we have Rwanda. The four countries we are planning to bring the four countries together to set up what we call the African Tour. And in the African Tour, top players from here can go to South Africa, join other players from the other nations, and play in a very competitive tour that can be rewarding. That is another critical aspect of it. So right now, the tour is going to be rewarding. They are offering, there's going to be a prize package, $15,000, and we are working on the final touches. Let me use that word. We are working on the final touches about that. So the benefit is that once you are a pool player and you're a member of the Snooker and Pool Players Alliance, then you have a chance of taking your game to the height.
All right. Okay. I know that the Snooker and Pool Players Alliance, you have your calendar every year, just like you mentioned that the pandemic really affected the calendar in last year. This year, is there any plan to integrate the new It's Chinese 8 ball into your calendar. That is, are we expecting some things to happen in terms of championship or tournament?
Yes. We have plans. Remember, the Snooker and Pool Players Alliance annually we organize what we call the top four, which is a monthly tournament for the top 4 highest ranked pool players of the SCPA. They play every month, the top 4. We have the Interbar, and we have the Players Championship. Those are regular tournaments we play in the alliance. Now, because of the introduction of the 8-ball pool championship, we are pleased to announce that we are going to have 5 qualifiers. 5 qualifiers, or not? Yes, we will classify them 5 qualifiers, but actually it's supposed to be 4 qualifiers and 1 final. But when we are linking up with the international body, we will call it 5 qualifiers. But the 5 qualifiers, they are called the Joy Chinese 8-ball pool tournament. They are qualifiers. So the winner of each of those qualifiers, we get sponsorship, different categories of sponsorship to go to China and play in the Masters and play in the bigger tournament. The winner of the final, we automatically, if I'll use that word, the winner of the final will go to play in the finals, all as a full package, if I'll use that word, as a full package. He will go to the finals of the Chinese 8-ball pool as a full package. That means the sponsorship is both transportation, feeding, accommodation, all of that is going to be offered. But for the other categories, it is only transportation that will be offered to the winner. So that gives you what I call a lot of opportunities, if I use that word. It gives you a lot of opportunities for those who are interested in building a career in pool.
So when are we looking, how soon are we going to take off right now? Because it's already January, and I know that by now, what are the plans?
Okay, let us say that the standard table that you play the Chinese 8-ball pool, there is a standard official table for the Chinese 8-ball pool. And the table is it's called the Q3 plus table. That is the table. You can see the players on the screen there. That's what they are playing on. It's called the Q3 plus table. So right now we are waiting. We have already ordered for our own Q3 plus table. We are expecting 4 Q3 plus table. This is our own local table. You can't play Chinese 8-ball pool on this kind of table. So it's the Q3 plus table we are going to play. So we have ordered for it. We are making necessary arrangements for it to arrive. Immediately it arrives, we will begin the qualifiers so that we'll begin to collect. We can achieve the timelines. Let me use that word. The timelines that we are given for 2021. We must organize 5 qualifiers, and the condition is the 5 qualifiers. We must use the Q3 plus table, and very soon the shipment will arrive. Once it's cleared, we have the venue where we are going to hold the tournament. That is the Carolina Center in Lekki. Carolina Center in Lekki. That's Dream World Africana. We have secured that venue, and once the tables arrive, we begin to hold our qualifiers. But the joker here is that even though it is an open qualifier, SPA players will normally be seeded. They'll be seeded to play in the round before the semifinals, and that is the round of 16. That is when the SPA players will play. Meanwhile, we'll open the door for every other player. You can all come and play if you want to play. If you think you have the skill, you can come and play, and you all go. But the SPA players will come in at the round of 16 because these are seasoned players. We cannot just bring them in right from the beginning of the game and of each of the tournaments, and that is the way we are going to offer it.
All right.
And we'll also use the SPA ranking as a way of paying the players. So we will not pair the very, very strong players very early in the game, and you get knocked out. So
Okay.
sometimes, even though in sports, upset is all about, sports is all about upset. We agree. Sports is all about upset. But we do not want to, we want people to be able to enjoy the game. That's the important thing. That's the
Okay.
important thing. But surely
Joe,
we're going to have
I just want to wish you all the best. Thank you very much. And I hope that the players also are getting excited about this thing that is happening in Nigeria.
Sure. A lot of people are so enthusiastic about it. They are waiting for it to kick off. This is the first time it's happening in Nigeria. Some people are skeptical. They say it's all story. They've had all this kind of story. But this is different. What the SPA is about creating a robust structure for the development of skill sports. That is snooker, pool, and billiards in Nigeria. And we are taking it step by step. We are hoping that in 5 years' time, Nigeria we will start in the global stage from now. But in 5 years' time, we'll be strong enough to either host international tournaments locally. Not only can we host international tournaments locally, we can also send players who will be very competitive, that whenever they are going to play, people will, they will not just be what would I call, even give you the white cast.
All right, Joe, well, I'm sorry I have to cut you there. Thanks very much for talking to us. I hope we can do this again some other time.
Oh, sure. Jide, it's nice talking to you as usual. When it comes to sports, you know I'm always there.
All right. That was the president of the Snooker and Pool Players Alliance of Nigeria, Joachim Idada, talking to us about the latest, their latest acquisition. That's talking about the Chinese 8-ball pool launch in Nigeria. We're going on a short break, and when we come back, it will be time for our offside segment. Don't go away yet.
Fantastically finished.
All right. Before we go, this is the offside. If you think that you know how to charge sports athletes on performance, you need to check out the way the Commissioner of Youth and Sports in Sokoto State charged. That's talking about the Nigerian National League side, Sokoto United players on the next season. You need to see how the commissioner charged the players, and you ask yourself, how professional is this in sports?
Sokoto United, you know we know. I discussed with you privately, and today we are challenging you in public. As the season is about to begin, 16th of this month, and our first match is going to start 31st of this month. So I will challenge you. This is not time for Shakira. It's time to play. If you want play, play. If you don't want play, we can send all of you back to your places. We rather maintain the Dantanin, Danjumai, and Dahajia from Burkusuma, Chimola, and Chelizar to maintain our team, rather than keep spending money for you without result. It is not time for I will do. It's time for result.
All right. What a way. That is where the cookie crumbles today. Thanks for joining me on this edition. Don't forget our social media handles are active. They're live on Twitter. We're there on Sport Xchange 24. That's and also on Facebook too. You can like our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter. And don't forget, you can watch again the repeat of this particular program. You can watch it often on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, my name is Jide Olaniran. Until I come your way next week, you know what? Sports is business. So keep looking ahead.